What do you think the end result is for you? What do you think the organized stalkers want from you? Do you think they want suicide? Do you think they want you to join them? Do you think...
No.
What?
They know that I'm too hard-headed to join them. They learned this, I was probably evaluated before even I left Poland. Because I was always, big-mouth guy, openly saying that, communism sucks and I want to get out as quick as I can. So they know I would never join them. They simply also know, probably, they came to the conclusion that killing me would make my case, it would prove my case, basically. I was lucky enough to publish so much evidence all over the globe that if they kill me, I am becoming a kind of quote-unquote martyr of my case. Therefore, it's better to make my life miserable and keep me busy with peripheral stuff like, making money, avoiding bankruptcy, trying to stay healthy. Because, if we are getting, fried every day, sooner or later we may have problems with cancer. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to slowly kill you and keep you preoccupied with peripheral issues.
And make it look natural.
And look more or less natural, Yeah, because if you die of cancer, you cannot sue American government that they kill you. Because nobody would ever be able to prove it in any court that they killed you, right? You might get cancer from something else. It's your bad luck. You got cancer. But if somebody, suicides you, shooting you 54 times with shotgun in the back, so even if they put, in local news that Mr. Suda committed suicide, nobody believes. But with cancer, it's easier, right?
I'm sure, the weapons can make it look like a natural death.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And how long it takes, they don't care. They keep me preoccupied with little things anyhow. All damage I could do, I already did. It's published all over. I will never force them to investigate my case. It's a mountain of evidence. Anybody who could go to this website I mentioned would see it. Nevertheless, I know. I'm facing it. It will never be investigated. Because, too many people would suffer. Too many people who are in power, and they must stay in power. So, my case is one of many. Like I said, between us victims, I have this, let's call it privilege, of knowing why I'm suffering. But it doesn't help me with anything. The same thing.
Have you tried moving? Do they follow you from place to place?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
It takes, sometimes it takes months, sometimes it takes 5 months. Mm-hmm. But nevertheless, there's no place to hide.
If you could tell the public anything about organized stalking, what would you tell them? Because a lot of people are unaware that this is going on, and there are a lot of people now who are aware because it is growing crime, and we are gaining credibility. But there are people who are unaware. What would you want the person who's never heard of organized stalking to know? First, I'd like to apologize that I'm such a pessimist. But I am. I don't really believe that average person, average member of American society will change his or her mind and believe me, regardless of what I'm saying. Why? I don't want anybody to be offended. Well, I don't care, honestly. Why? Because we're talking about the same society that widely accepted a big lie that I don't remember how many, 10, 15 crazy Arabs with pocket knives defeated the most powerful air force in the world, in the universe, for an hour and a half. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure.
9/11.
Oh, 9/11. Yes. Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry. I was trying to think of something else. Of course. You're right.
So if I'm talking to people who accepted this humongous lie that few maniacs with pocket knives defeated the most powerful air force in the world,
Mm-hmm.
hour and a half,
Mm-hmm.
if they accepted that, I have nothing to tell them because I will not succeed. So forgive me my pessimism, but that's how I see the situation. So how they, those average members of American society, how they can believe me? Well, when they become victims. Perhaps you may remember there was a writing by a pastor who lived in Nazi Germany, and he has this famous quote that when they came for Jews, we didn't care because they were doing Jews, not us. When they came for Catholics, we didn't care because they came for Catholics. When they came for gays, we didn't care because it wasn't us, and so on, so on. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Famous quote. Mm-hmm. This applies. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, somebody's trying to disconnect us.
No, that's happened before. That's a gang stalker tactic. So you said this applies to
us now, to this country, this moment. And, the attempt to disconnect us is, like a badge of honor, I would say.
You had mentioned 9/11, and I'm just going to ask you, you do believe it was an inside job then? Because I do.
That's more than believing. Believing is like, we're talking about religion, about something that logically, physically doesn't make any sense. This is not about believing. This is, I know. And anybody with common sense should know. If somebody says no, that he doesn't believe or is not sure, he either has mental problems or simply lies. Like I said, we're talking about few guys with pocket knives and and the most powerful air force in the world.
Well, I always wondered who taped the box cutters to the seat.
Well,
that happened ahead of time, and I know my perpetrators they're pilots. They were pilots, and I know they're inside those gates, and they really did not like this country. And at my sexual assault, I was very brutalized for being so patriotic. So we do have people on the inside who are working against our government. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Listen, I was lucky that last night I went for a local meeting of 9/11 truthers, and the guest was Mr. Griffin, who wrote the debunking of Popular Mechanics article,
mm-hmm.
And he's specialist who works on all details, trying to expose 9/11 conspiracy. And I heard another news from him. And this is about box cutters. You see, the only source of information about box cutters came from Barbara Olson, who supposedly died on the plane flying into Pentagon.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's the only, in a term of law, legal terms, the only source of information, of a proof of existence of box cutters was a phone call made by Barbara Olson. Now, since the evidence of physical impossibility of